one of our great unemployed workers. So our understanding is that we'll probably still be with Judge Fletcher Hill, but we're not sure how that assignment will go. But we will file an amended complaint, an amended class action complaint. We will continue to go forward until every single unemployed worker in Maryland gets every single penny they are owed. We will not stop. We will not rest until justice is entirely served. Thank you.
But after the, we want to hear from a couple of, okay. We gotta do something with this thing.
There you go.
We wanted to call upon some of the workers who have this experience, who actually have come here today. First, Adam, and then Stephen, and then Josh.
And then we'll take questions.
And then we'll take some questions.
Hello there. My name is Adam Cunningham. I'm also an unemployed worker. I live in Germantown, and I have a few words to say. I got them right here. First, I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and I especially want to thank everyone who has been part of this consistent, persistent fight for the rights of the unemployed. One thing I'd like to really point out is that this is yet another example of how direct action through constant protest, the unrelenting pressure of those who claim to govern and represent us, will bring about the change that we seek in this state. What started as a handful of people protesting around the State House and Governor's Mansion a little over a month ago quickly and organically blossomed into a movement spanning the entire state, just about, with hundreds, thousands of people coming together with one message. And that message was very clear. Hands off our unemployment. The people came together, we marched, we protested, and we won. And now I want to say this, since I have the cameras on me and I'm sure he's watching. Hogan, you lost, bro. Give it up. This man has spent however much in taxpayer money to fight against giving taxpayers money. Make it make sense. Now, another thing that I want to say is that this fight is nowhere near finished. We may have gotten this victory in the court system today, but this is almost nothing in the face of the issues that we have to face in the near future. Maryland's unemployment system needs a complete overhaul. There are people out there right now who still have yet to receive the unemployment benefits that they're entitled to, despite waiting months or even years. There are those who were kicked out of the program despite being eligible, and this was due to a wonky, broken, understaffed, and underfunded unemployment application system. It's now at this point that we look to the General Assembly to pick up the slack. The time has come for all of our elected officials in the State House to come together, begin a special session, and pass some legislation that not only protects, bolsters, and enhances the unemployment benefits that we have now, because as we said, and as many others have said for the longest time, the benefits that are given out are hardly enough for people to afford basic expenses like housing, food, utilities, car notes, car insurance, homeowners insurance, etc. But that they also pass legislation to protect and strengthen the rights of tenants across this state, and that they pursue legislation to raise the minimum wage to a living wage in this state, which studies have concluded is at least $25 an hour at this point. As many of you are aware, these issues intersect with each other. You know, our subpar unemployment system is directly intertwined with the looming housing crisis, with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people struggling with housing expenses. And both of these issues are directly connected to the supposed labor shortage in our state due to businesses being either unable to or unwilling to pay their workers a living wage. These are all connected, which means that it will take broad, bold action from those in the State Senate and House of Delegates to ensure that everyone in the state is safe and secure. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. Thanks to everyone who's been supportive of this effort, and let's keep going because we have much more work to do.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Cece. I'm an unemployed worker. and a volunteer with the Unemployed Workers Union. I was laid off as a banquet bartender at the Westin Hotel, and I haven't been able to receive my benefits for going on 2 months now. I'm happy and grateful that we were able to get an injunction that the benefits will continue till September. But truth be told, my situation, while I'm happy for all those who are getting their benefits and will get extended till September, there are tens of thousands, as it was stated earlier, and I'm here as to testify to the fact of whatever, that there are tens of thousands of us who are what I call purgatory, that we are being denied our benefits on things as frivolous as proof of identification, where we submit our documents and then we don't hear anything back from the Department of Labor, or we're told that we are now been flagged as fraud, whereas in my situation, they paid me unemployment benefits for 6 months. Then they said I had to reapply, which I did, and then they said that I need proof of identification, which just doesn't make sense. If you were paying me for 6 months, you mean to tell me you don't know who I am? And I submit the documents, Maryland State identification card, Social Security card, and I haven't heard anything back. Governor Hogan says that the state has a high vaccination rate. He says that there are plenty of jobs that we need to go back to work. Well, why isn't the Department of Labor open? Why can't I speak to a human being? And I'm not talking about these bogus so-called appointments, in-person appointments, where you go into the Department of Labor and they put you in a room with a security guard and then put you on a Zoom call and speak to a customer service rep who basically tells you you need to call the customer service number. So you're getting the runaround. We need to actually have the unemployment offices open where you can actually speak to somebody who has authority, who can actually address whatever your issue is. Lastly, I'd just like to say that I want to get back to work. And all of us deserve jobs that have meaning, respect, and that pays a living wage. And so I've been looking for work, but I cannot find work in my field. People are not having weddings. People, corporations are not having conferences. The convention center, which used to be, I worked at the convention center for part-time or whatever, is still doing the vaccinations. So this notion that there are these tons of jobs and that people are sitting at home is a fallacy. We want to get back to work, but we want to go back to work with decent wages. And so Governor Hogan, if you really care about people, lift all workers' wages, lift the minimum wage, you know, not to just 15, because that's been a struggle that has been going on for years now. The minimum wage should now be raised over to $20, $25 an hour. We will continue the fight, and if those are tens of thousands of us don't get our benefits, I'm putting the state of Maryland on notice that some of us are willing to put our lives on the line and go to jail to get our benefits. Thank you.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Josh, and in addition to the disaster created by Maryland Department of Labor about paying their citizens of Maryland the money that they duly deserve, there is also another big problem that we haven't really addressed, and it's the hacking of the debit card that was issued by Bank of America, contracted by Maryland Department of Labor. I have received many calls on this phone number by people saying that they have lost $6,000, they're gone, another saying $3,000, somebody saying $9,000. I personally have lost almost $11,000. Upon calling Bank of America, in the back of the debit card, their number, they told us to contact State of Maryland, Department of Labor, who in turn tells us contact Bank of America because the debit card is issued by Bank of America. And Bank of America is a hundreds of billions dollars institution. Why can't they tell us what's going on? At least tell us what's going on. There are hundreds of people that have lost this money, and it has been months. And they won't tell us anything. Nothing whatsoever. Bank of America, Maryland Department of Labor, please do something about this. Thank you.
We have one more unemployed worker who's a veteran who has a few words to say before we go on to questions. Come on.
Hello, my name is Dwayne. I seem to be having the same issues as everyone else. Since January, for the last, I guess, 6 months, I've been waiting to hear from an adjudicator. I was told that my account was active in reference to getting paid through unemployment. However, they keep telling me, well, I need to speak to an adjudicator. Well, how many times do a person have to be told they're going to speak to an adjudicator from January up to now July? And I have heard nothing from the state of Maryland or anyone from the Department of Labor regarding this issue. So I'm in the same boat as everyone else, and hopefully we can get this resolved.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're going to open it up to questions. I just want to say, because we talked about next steps, that we're going to continue this fight. Attorney Summerfield talked about some of the things legally. I want to say that we're going to continue with our town hall unemployed workers assemblies. Particularly, we're going to target Baltimore. We were in Salisbury, we were in Frederick, we were in Silver Spring, and we really are going to be right here in Baltimore City to hold an outdoor town hall meeting and call on the delegates in Baltimore City and also the City Council to come and listen to workers' testimony. And as one of the unemployed workers said, we are committed, if it takes it, civil disobedience and going to jail. If literally, if Tiffany Robinson, Secretary Tiffany Robinson, doesn't hear what we're trying to say. And I think we've said this before, but we have over 3,000 plus grievances already, of which she hasn't been in her office to receive. And so we're still pressing on that issue, that she settle these grievances with us, that she meets with us, that people get justice. So I'm going to open it up to the press, and whatever questions that you have, we'll try to answer.
Regarding first the TRO and then the preliminary injunction, I know there was discussion about how things played out in court in Indiana.
Yeah.
With this class action suit now, will there be talk about how things proceeded in Virginia, just south of us, or how is that being incorporated?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're following very closely all the actions developing around the country right now. Actually, what happened in Virginia is a lot more similar to what we're looking to do in terms of getting people the money they haven't been paid. And I also believe that was a class action. So we're trying to get in touch with the lawyers who worked on it down there. But that's why we're going to keep pushing, because we believe that all of us together in the Unemployed Workers Union, we can win this money. I mean, we believe we can win it in the courts and in the streets and in the press. We're getting in touch with lawyers from Indiana too, actually, because I believe they're on appeal. And then we're working to get in touch with the lawyers in Texas. We've already talked to a group in Florida who's trying to build a similar suit against Governor Ron DeSantis, who pulled a similar maneuver, cutting off the benefits and not paying people what they're owed. I mean, this is a grassroots issue that people care about all across the country, and we're going to keep fighting in the courts here in Maryland.
When you file your amended complaint next week, do you plan to seek an expedited hearing or to get the ball rolling faster?
Yes, we do. We're going to request another emergency hearing, and we also intend to add some named plaintiffs. A good amount at this point, since we'll just be focusing on the issue of owed back payment. Really what it is back payment. We're going to be adding plaintiffs. We have lots of people in the UWU who want to be on this suit named, and we're going to name them, submit more affidavits, and we're going to get a scheduled hearing as fast as possible so we can get our class certified and we can get people their money.
How many people do you have on that class action now, and how many do you expect?
So right now we have 6 named plaintiffs serving as class representatives for between 30 and 50,000 Marylanders. Frankly, we're going to open it up. Usually in class actions you pick a handful of representatives for your class, but in a case like this, we're one big happy union, and we want everybody who wants to be on to be able to sign on. So we're expanding this and we're pushing forward.
And I just wanted to add too to the question around the legal briefs in other states. People should just be aware that we've also gotten people from around the country, from Arizona to Maine, all over the place, who want to start an unemployed workers union. So, and as we've stated a million times, it's not just about what's happening in the courts, it's also what's happening in the communities, what's happening in the street. Of course, right now, a lot of the focus is on the court case. Any other questions? I know y'all.
Claimants who want to participate in the class action lawsuit, do they just need to file the grievance through the union? Is there anything else they need to do?
They can email me at asummerfield59@gmail.com and file grievances. Get in touch with us. We're going to get back to you the best we can. But we are committed to getting Tiffany, Secretary Robinson, and Governor Hogan to do the right thing and release the money to that they're owed, that the people are owed.
Yeah, and just so people know, I know that you all aren't doing the live stream, but we are, is that we're overwhelmed. We're all volunteers. Nobody's making a dime or a penny. We're both unemployed workers, retired union folks, and basic veterans, everybody. And so we're not paid, and we're working off of a cell phone. We're working off of the crudest kinds of things right now, and our phone is jammed. So if we don't get back to people, it's not because we don't want to. It's just literally this phone back here that we've used for the news meeting and everything else. Maybe 100 calls come through. We had to turn it on silent because we just can only do texts right now. That's how much our phones have blown up in the last couple weeks. So if we don't get back to you, it's not because we don't want to. It's because we're just like you, and we have no money and no resources, and we're just depending on people's power, and everything's volunteer so far. And really, we just are using somebody else's office. Any other questions?
With all the legal maneuvers we've seen from the state's attorney, were you surprised that they didn't file an appeal?
Well, first, I would say the state's attorney, dropped the case, and instead the governor decided to hire a massive law firm, Venable, with taxpayer money. But yeah, actually, I am surprised they didn't appeal. I guess what they figured is they would have to go through August anyway, so they might as well it's not worth it. And also the tide turned. I mean, more and more people, more and more press outlets, organizations saying there's no point to this. Even the governor's own economist who testified for the defense said that cutting the unemployment benefits might actually hurt the economy. Their own witness said that on the record under penalty of perjury. So it really showed that this whole thing was political and they didn't really have an economic leg to stand on. And it was just an attack on working people. So yeah, we were surprised they didn't appeal, but we're also really glad because we're looking forward.
Right. It's kind of dead in the water too, because with the U.S. Department of Labor's view about the 30 days, right now it wouldn't be till September 6th anyhow that they could even move on it. So it is dead. Hogan's effort is dead in the water.
Just last thing I want to say to our people in the live stream and to whoever watches your stations is that we are expanding this struggle. We are expanding this lawsuit. We are expanding this union. We are not narrowing it. We are not resting on our laurels. We are expanding this whole thing, and we're going forward. And I really look forward to getting all copies of the amended complaint next week.
Thank you. Anything else, or we're going to close? I know we're all very hot, so.
Yep.
We're going to
All
end.
right,
Thank you all.
thanks everybody.
Alec, any idea what day next week?
Tuesday or Wednesday. Yeah. Thank you, Mallory. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.